What are some of the specific features on Instagram and Facebook that you find to be addictive and damaging to children's health?
Well, I so appreciate the opportunity to talk with you about the lawsuit we filed today in the D.C. Superior Court. District of Columbia joined 41 other state attorneys general across the country in a bipartisan effort to address the fact that the Meta platforms, the social media platforms that Meta drives a tremendous amount of ad revenue from, are intentionally designed to be addictive to teenagers. And the lawsuit lays out why those features violate both the unfair trade practice as well as the deceptive trade practice aspects that are illegal under D.C. law. The Meta platform is designed to keep eyeballs on the screens for as long as possible, and it does that through an addictive set of features to try to keep kids online for as long as possible, and when they are offline, to lure them back as quickly as possible. And we have talked to young people who tell us, much like somebody who's addicted to a drug, that they wish they could spend less time on their screens and they can't stop. So that's the type of addictive technology that is being driven solely to put profits over people. Meta knows the emotional and psychological impact that its conduct has caused and harmed in terms of young people in the district and across the country, and the lawsuit is designed to put an end to that behavior.
You know, in announcing the lawsuit, you talked about the damage done to an entire generation. You released statistics on increased rates of anxiety and hopelessness, especially among young girls, that you've linked to these platforms. What's your message to parents tonight and their role in their children's lives, making sure that their kids aren't exploited by sites like Instagram that we know can be addictive?
Well, I want all people, kids, teenagers, and adults, to know the risks associated with this dangerous, addictive product and to try to take care of themselves. But look, these are intentionally addictive products. And making it worse, Meta wasn't straight with people about what its known risks were. And so I don't blame parents or kids for getting addicted to something that, the full disclosure of risks and harms was not made. Part of our lawsuit focuses on the deceptive behavior of Meta, where it downplayed or sugarcoated or flat out misrepresented the known harms and risks to psychological and emotional well-being of spending time on its platforms.
And Attorney General, you may have touched on this, but we may ask you to go a little bit more in depth. Which laws do you believe that Meta violated with their policies, and how are you trying to hold Meta accountable on behalf of the thousands of children living here in the district?
The lawsuit that we filed in the D.C. Superior Court is a lawsuit under the D.C. Consumer Protection and Procedures Act. That law passed into law here in the District of Columbia makes it illegal to engage in deceptive trade practices and unfair trade practices. The lawsuit that I and my team filed alleges specifically how Meta violated both of those aspects of the statute, both by engaging in an unfair trade practice of peddling a dangerous, addictive product, and then not being straight with the known risks and harms associated with using that product. So it's unfair and it's deceptive, all under the D.C. Consumer Protection Statute.
And Mr. Attorney General, why now? The timing, some may wonder if the timing is right to make this move.
Look, every day we don't address this public health epidemic is a day that kids continue to suffer. We have seen great increase in anxiety and depression, in suicidal ideation, in self-harm, in negative body comparison. We are concerned that every day that this practice is allowed to continue, more and more young people can be harmed by it. So time is of the essence, and we have a thorough record, a thorough amount of investigation done to try to make sure that we put an end to a practice that could harm children here in the district as well as across the country.
D.C. Attorney General Brian Schwab, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.